Welcome back. This is the next video in the line of Sir Walerich is making a sword. This is how I make it. We left off with me shaving off the skin. This is the skin part. This is the not skin part. I shaved off all the skin on the handle. There's these little pieces sticking off. They're okay to be there. So eventually we're going to take all that off too also. So my next step now is to see where the back, to make sure I know where the back is at compared to the front, how I want it to swing, how I want the sword to feel in my hand. And this is another thing about the sword talking to you. It'll tell you how it wants to feel in your hand. Your body and your sword and the sword should be one piece. Should just be an extension of your arm. And that transition to your hand has to be exactly how you want it, you know. Like I said, some people, I've seen some people just come out and swing stick with nothing off it, complete. And I probably at one point did that myself when I first started, until I was taught differently. And I'm gonna make the handle like an actual sword handle. Because if you look at a real sword, the blade and the handle are not the same. They don't feel the same. They don't look the same. They don't react the same. They make handles specifically so you can hold them and use them without hurting yourself. Basically, they have to feel good for you to be able to, you know, do what you want to do. So now what I'm going to do is find this blade side again, not the blade edge, and I'm going to stick this back in here. Here's the back of the sword where it's going to point for the back side. I'll be able to look at that when I'm looking down at my hand. That's the back side. The front side is the attack side. I say that, but the back side is also an attack side when you throw wraps. But the front side is the main attack side that you're going to use. So I got the back side here, and I'm going to turn it to where the sword handle and the sword blade are the same, in a line, right? And there's a reason for that. Here, put a little angle on it when I set it up in my vise. So now I'm going to take this again, and I'm going to cut just the sides. And you can go, like I said, you can go deep, but I wouldn't. I'd start and I'd take off little bits at a time, because you want to bring that handle down from the fat to a skinny handle size. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I basically start with the almond shaped handle, like Connor taught me, and it comes down here and comes out like an almond, which is still smaller than the sword, and it comes down and curves back into the end, and it flares back out again at the end, and it fits right in the palm of your hand. You'll see when I have this done, I'll do the almond shape and show you what it looks like. And that's the basic where I go for anybody that wants a sword, unless they want it customized like I do. How I've done it for myself and how I've modified it, there is a trigger grip in here, finger grips, so I know where my hand goes. All four of my fingers and my thumb have a specific, and it's not hugely pronounced, it's just where I know my hand is going to sit and my thumb is going to sit, so I know it goes right back into that spot every time. So if I'm swinging my sword and throwing shots, I'm never gripping tight until it's time to snap, right? As anybody has been taught, throwing flat snaps or any shots really, you never want to grip it. You want to like hold it like a tube of toothpaste and squeeze it at the end when you're finishing your shot. So when I do that, I'm holding it with just these two fingers and controlling it with these three. So as I'm throwing my shot, when I close my hand, I know my hand is going to go right back into that pistol grip, four-fingered groove spot that I want it to be, and it'll be there every single time. I've never had I don't say never, because I came back out of the pandemic and I had to adjust some stuff because I hadn't fought in a while, but 99% of the time I don't throw flat shots for that very reason. So like I said, we're going to take this and we're going to shave off, and like I said, you start at this line and you pull down and pull away, so you don't cut into the sword and rip the bottom piece off. That's just not what we want to do. And I'm only doing half of this because I'm going to turn it around and do the other half and cut back into it. So we do a little bit at a time. Take this. Now I'm going to see, there's that's the stuff I was talking about. You don't want to cut too far into it because it'll cut down here and it'll cut this piece off, and you don't want that. At least I don't. You know, I just put this up on the other side at an angle, and I start doing it again. I'm just the same exact thing that I was doing on the other side. Make sure that the sword blade, the flat side of the blade, is face up still, because it's exactly how your hand is going to make sure that the blade doesn't ever land flat when you're throwing shots. And we're not taking a whole lot off. Like I said, the rest of it I'm going to take off with that rasp. So I just want to get that flat side started, you know, so I don't have to run a whole lot of with the rasp on that meat. So I only took a little bit off. I'll probably take a little bit off more right here, so these are about right, and then I'll do the other side. And after I get done with that, I'll get back with you with the next video and show you where we're at, and we'll go from there.